Affidavit of posting, agenda was posted in the office of county clerk on the 11th day of March, 2021. Notice was sent to the West Bend Daily News, Express News, WIBD, WMUZ Radio, WTKM Radio, My Community Now, Hartford Times Press, the Kewaskum Statesman, and the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel. We have a quorum. Everyone is here. Let's begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, first order of business is a consent agenda. I entertain a motion. Supervisor Mary, Supervisor Dice. Any corrections, discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Moving on, discussion items, campus master plan. We're going to take that up at this meeting. Begin with the property tax levy cap. Probably in May, we're looking at maybe May or June. For the property tax levy cap, I actually put together this board report. There's been a lot of counties that have been trying to pass resolutions to eliminate levy caps. The governor's budget eliminates levy caps. Although it makes it a little bit harder for governments to work, it really makes governments think outside the box to try to, do more with less, basically, and find ways to consolidate, coordinate, cooperate with other communities to eliminate duplication of effort and redundancies and streamline government. And we're a great example of how that actually does work. We're able to lower our tax rates, yet provide the citizens with more than sufficient, but actually upgraded services for the most part. And I think it's very important that as the most conservative county in the state of Wisconsin, maybe in the country, that we set a good example at this, and we advocate, have direct County Attorney Stern to put together a resolution that we support maintaining the property levy tax caps. So, any discussion, or Supervisor Mahalik?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I thought it was interesting. You and I were on the same discussion topic on that with the Wisconsin Counties Association, texting back and forth.
Yep.
And it was fascinating to see how liberal many of our counterparts are in other counties, just looking for other ways to tax. It's an incredible thing how they refuse to live within their means or refuse to make sometimes difficult decisions in order to move things forward. So I'm proud of the fact that Washington County is willing to stand up and go counterculture to the, gee, we need more money, gee, we need more money, when there are a lot of people in their families sitting at kitchen tables trying to figure out how they're going to make their budgets work. But the government can just try and move forward and shove their hands into the people's pockets and put themselves in a position of, well, hey, we'll make money. And the thing is it flies also in the face of the fact that the incredibly bloated federal government has now, with $1.9 trillion, buried us all in debt. It's interesting to, if I can ramble for just a minute, when you look at what we've just done to ourselves with $1.9 trillion, that's taking every taxpayer in the country, every one of them, and handing them a bill for $5,000 saying the interest starts next month when we sell the bonds, and here's $1,400. So it's like taking out a $1,400 loan, knowing you have to pay back $5,000 plus interest. And that's how they bought people off into this. We are literally creating generational theft. And so those people in government who are responsible for getting up and spending their children's and their grandchildren's money that they will never be able to be unburied from will have an interesting time with St. Peter at the gate, because it truly is a violation, I honestly believe, of the commandment, thou shalt not steal, because we are stealing now. We are now in a position of stealing. Benjamin Franklin said it, and I can't believe it's not quoted more often, and that is that when people finally figure out they can vote themselves money, it's the end of the republic. And that's exactly what we've done. And how did we get municipalities and counties to buy off on this malarkey? Using a word from our current president. The interesting thing about that is he gave us a whole bunch of money. So we're getting what, $26-27 million as a county to spend. Well, all of the other 71 counties are getting a big chunk of money that they weren't planning on, that they can use. And they still want to stick your hand or their hands further into the pockets of those people sitting at all of those kitchen tables going, after the stimulus money is gone, what are we going to do?
Pass a $4 trillion infrastructure.
Correct. And that is on the docket right now. $4 trillion, and they call it an infrastructure bill.
Yep.
When it's another one of these candy store bills that they're going to try and ram through, things that they couldn't get on their own, that the public is definitely against, but they're going to put them on a list and charge you $4 trillion and bury us in a debt that your grandchildren will never be able to pay. Think about that. And we're doing it to ourselves and our progeny. And it will be an interesting time. Like I said, St. Peter is going to be going, and you did what to your kids? And you did what to your grandkids? It will happen. Thank you.
Thank you. Supervisor Bossert.
There's an old saying that when the only tool in your toolbox is a hammer, every problem starts to look like a nail. A lot of governments, the only tool they seem to have in their toolbox is raise taxes. And there's a whole lot more other tools out there. Levy limits force governments to put down the hammer and look for other tools and use other tools to manage their budgets. So I am absolutely in favor of this resolution and for maintaining levy limits. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't want to cast aspersion on other forms. What was done in the 40s, in the 30s, and when you continue those types of policies on into the 2020s, it just doesn't always fit. So sometimes you need to come up with new innovative ideas on how to provide those same kind of services, how to provide them better and more efficiently. And I think it's the lazy way out to just say we need more money to continue doing what we've been doing forever. And that's where Washington County, I think we come up with better ideas, better way to build the mousetrap, and we follow through on those. Supervisor Kelly.
To also put some words to this and to give a sense of uniformity to anybody who might be watching this video later on, I also agree with this. We are going to make sure that all other counties see this, what Washington County is saying here in capping, that you need to find other streams. You need to make the cuts. You need to consolidate. I'm sure that a lot of other counties don't see this the way we do, but if they use the model that we use, you can be successful too. And there is a lot here that you can copy, and we invite you to steal from us, our ideas and our innovation, because that's what this is really about, is ideas and innovation. We don't need to start raising taxes. We need to start shrinking government, being more efficient and running it the way it should be. Thank you.
Thank you. Supervisor Mary.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I concur with all the voices I've heard this afternoon, and kind of reiterating, just because we have the power to raise taxes and spend the money doesn't mean we have to. And I think congratulations should be extended to everybody in the entire county, all the department heads, all the employees, in particular the leadership, and the county board for towing the line on this. We have the power to raise taxes. We don't need the money. We're not going to raise the taxes. And as long as we can continue in this conservative vein, I think we're going to be very successful in leadership. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Supervisor Schleif.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I further concur with everything that's been said. And, our county executive has been pushing, and all of us too, smaller government, smaller government. government. This is a tool to push for smaller government. So I fully agree.
Thank you.
Saving the best for, or
Supervisor
for
Dice.
last, right? I agree with everything that's been said this afternoon. And I do really firmly believe that we are very fortunate in the leadership that we have in this county. I think without our county exec and with the county board being willing to work with him, he's led us in a direction that has only been to the benefit of all our residents. Maybe in that respect, we're a step ahead of other counties. I don't know, but that's my feeling. So I guess I agree with all the gentlemen here this afternoon and with pushing this resolution forward. So thank you.
Thank you. This is just a discussion item that we need a general consensus to have Attorney Stern draft that. I think you got the gist of what we're looking for, and it's I don't have to ask. We're all in lockstep on this. So, pardon? Yes, please. Okay. Yep. Next is the sales tax restriction. Do you want me to speak on that, or do you want to, Ed? Okay. The same thing. The next is the sales tax restriction. Let me bring it up here quick. Again, in Governor Evers' budget, he is asking to allow an additional half% sales tax to further burden our residents and taxpayers. We right now, we collect a 0.5 cent sales tax, which we use for our CIP and for returning money back to the citizens, the property holders, property taxpayers in Washington County. This is another money grab, something that is not necessary and something we should not burden our taxpayers for. So I'm supportive of this and to direct County Attorney Stern to also put that resolution towards the April County Board to consider. These are advisory resolutions, but I think somebody needs to stand up for our citizens again and to say enough is enough. We pay high enough taxes. We're not going to go on that path to continue to advocate to raise taxes. So open it up for discussion. Supervisor Bossert.
So quick question on this. I'm opposed to allowing additional sales tax. If the governor's proposal were to go through and we do not raise our sales tax on a county level, is there a danger that municipalities individually could raise a sales tax within their municipality? Like, say, village of such and such or city of such and such?
You want to speak to that? As I understand it, yeah, they can, correct?
I believe so. It would have to be by referendum. And so from that,
They could do it, but they would have to do a referendum, but that danger is there.
but the governor's basically saying is you're free to go raise your taxes, but it would have to be, by referendum. And from that standpoint, that's why the county executive he's opposed to governor raising taxes for all counties.
Yeah, so that only adds to my opposition to giving communities the ability to raise the sales tax and my support for what we want to do at holding the sales tax where it is statewide. All right, thank you.
Supervisor Mahalik.
Well, I'm going to throw a grenade in the middle of the room. When looking at all the counties, I mean, some counties have a 0.5%, some don't. I mean, I've always had it pushed at me that, well, Waukesha doesn't have a 0.5% sales tax that I know. They also if you will, kicked grandma to the curb by abandoning their need, I would say, to provide and putting that much more burden on county surrounding for things like Samaritan. We have Samaritan. We take care of our elderly and those who cannot afford it. Waukesha County just washed their hands and walked away from it. And of course, leaving that tax burden on the side of the road. What I think should happen is counties that did what Waukesha did so long ago should be forced to have a 0.5-cent sales tax and that give that money to the state to be reallocated to those counties that still have service. So Waukesha can't just say, oh, we'll move grandma or grandpa up to Washington County for 60, 90 days, do whatever, and then put her in Samaritan and have the taxpayers of Washington County pick up the burden that Waukesha County has refused to do. And unfortunately, see, this is a problem that's national, and it's a problem that's growing to a tremendous degree. Even states are going to have a difficult time handling it. It is a federal issue with the aging of America and the fact that we take Herculean effort to keep people alive. Where remember when Social Security was set up for 65, that was actually older than the life expectancy back in the 30s. So now it's 78. You can retire at 65 or 66, 67, depending on when you're older, how old you are when you do it. But we're still more than a decade past life expectancy. And it's getting, you could say better as far as keeping people alive, but worse from who's going to pay for grandma and grandpa as they have these problems, and we can keep them alive for so long, and the government is refusing to step up. This is an incredible frustration from our perspective. Of course, we're dealing with the Samaritan thing right now as to what we're going to do. And I think that the only equitable thing is to take those counties that have no facility to force them to pay a tax and then redistribute it to those of us who have shouldered that responsibility, because we do get people from other counties coming here because they don't have any place else to go when the funds aren't there, or the kids have moved on, or the people don't have kids to try and help them out. So that's my grenade. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Supervisor Schleif.
Thank you. Interesting grenade. Good luck making it happen, I think. But I agree, we should toe the line. As to Supervisor Bossert's comments, if municipalities can run a referendum and talk their people into voting for higher taxes, I don't know if that's going to happen. I think our sense of the pulse of the public is that that would never happen. But of course, they're going to tie it to, yeah, we can put in better roads and then, try to mislead the people. So interesting. We talked first about debt going to our next generations, and then we talk about taking care of the old generations, and we're still talking. But I agree that we should toe the line on this.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Everybody agree? Is on agreement on this? We're all nodding. I see 6 other nodding heads and mine also. So we'll move forward with that for get it ready for the. I guess probably have a hand in it too, Ed.
At your direction, county exec's office, if you're fine with it, we'll look at it.
Yep.
I think on behalf of the exec, and we can talk about it, would like something to the effect of, opposing mandating or taxes for all counties. Obviously, each one has their options,
Yeah.
if that makes sense.
No, we're hopeful that at least when we send this out, that our legislators will hear that, and especially from the joint finance, and will take the governor's budget and remove those items forthwith. So, all right, our next meeting date is April 21st, 2021 at 4:30 p.m. Thanks everybody for coming. Hereby adjourned.